So I've been making these like tutorial style videos for about 10 years now. I'm old. But I've always been trying to improve them and figure out ways to make them more enjoyable for the viewer to watch these videos that I've been making for so long. These are kind of funny tips because unlike most of my videos, these are things that I actually currently don't do in my videos and things that I could implement to improve my own content. And I didn't plan on originally sharing this with anyone. It was just for myself. But I figured this could be incredibly useful for other people that might want to do the same thing, because if I can improve my videos after 10 years of creating content, maybe someone else could use some of these things that I've written down to improve their own content as well. People say this all the time, so believe me or not, it's up to you, but I think this could be one of the most valuable videos that I ever create on this channel, because the things that I'm about to share are literally going to change and sculpt the way that I create my videos. I know people say this a lot and it's an overused statement, so if you don't want to believe me, that's totally cool. But what if just some of the things that I am saying have truth to it? It really might be worth your while sticking around and hearing it out. It's 5 different things, each I feel are incredibly useful to transform my channel going into the future. Number 5 is going to be an exercise that you can follow along to and do right now that I feel will have the most impact on your growth and everything about your channel going into the future. And not only that, I think you can actually apply this to most aspects of life. I know that sounds a lot, and I'm not trying to say it for some crazy bullshit hook to make you stay to the last tip. I really mean it, and I don't say that lightly. A large part for the mindset of this is as follows, and excuse the analogy, but it just makes sense. Social media content is like a drug, correct? And that means that viewers are wanting to get that next hit from opening up their phone and getting something that's rewarding for them as the addict. You literally need to give them exactly what they want. It's that next hit. You want them to open up their phone and go, oh my God, this is exactly what I wanted. I want more of that. How do we do that? Well, if your videos are not getting any views or your channel isn't seeing any growth, to be brutally honest, it's because you are a bad content dealer. So cool, we need to create addictive content, but how do we actually do that? Well, I'm gonna need some coffee for this, and I've written down 5 ways. And number 1 is to be doing something while talking. You see, even in that very little moment right there, while I was writing that down, it still felt kind of like interesting because I was busy doing something while I was talking. And the exact same reason why I'm making this coffee right now. I don't really need coffee, but by me doing a second thing while I'm talking or presenting educational content is an amazing way to give the viewer a more addicted feeling as they feel that there's a second thread of storyline happening within that video that you're busy presenting. If you really want to maximize the effect, if you do something while talking that is a bit of a story progression, and you can actually unfold something or build something or something that has a lead up, that's going to be even more effective, because now not only the person is listening to your value-based content that you're speaking to them, but you're also doing something else that they subconsciously kind of get attached to. Like me making this coffee right now, even if you don't realize it, you probably want to see me finish this and pour the coffee in here and then drink it, which is what I'm going to do. One of my other absolute favorite things about this is that the secondary thread of story doesn't even need to be relevant to your main topic of video. Me making this coffee has absolutely nothing to do with how I'm going to improve my videos. I mean, maybe it would, because I would have more energy, but it can literally be of anything. It really doesn't need to be relevant at all. I think another reason why this works so well is because if you're someone like me and you deliver a lot of like educational style content, it often gives off this like classroom style vibe where you're kind of just sitting there and like delivering everything that you can to camera, and it's often classroom vibey. Who's addicted to sitting in a classroom? Not me. But by doing something like this, it really gives that extra story that you might be looking for holding the attention of the viewer. Number 2 is going to be to change angles more frequently. And It's definitely easier for me to just kind of sit in one place and deliver all of the content and information that I need to without moving, and that's probably why I do it most of the time. But people get bored very quickly, and by simply changing angle, you're giving the viewer something fresh to look at. When they just start to get bored, it's a pattern interrupt that changes that entire scene. If you can pair your change in angles with a story of sorts, even better. It means that there's going to be that additional thread for the viewer to keep following as you're changing scenes and moving about. Another way I really like to do this is by having some sort of match cuts. So as I'm moving from different angles, I'm just matching my actions and cutting between them. It gives it a really nice flow and feeling of the viewer kind of following along as you go. Now, there's a couple of things that I'm going to talk about later about self-analysis and how you can change things in your channel to make them much, much better. Today's video is also made in collaboration with a company called TubeMagic, and these guys are really going to help you to do such analysis on your channel. It doesn't really matter what you do in your videos if you don't understand how to make them seen by people. And one of the ways that we can do that is by having the proper analysis and data so that we can post things that actually get found. TubeMagic does keyword research for you, giving you a competition score and a search volume score, as well as this really nifty little magic score that's an indication of how good of a keyword idea you might be going on to. It can also create AI video ideas based on any channel. So you can take other people's channels within your niche, plug it into TubeMagic, and it will give you ideas from that channel link. I can also write scripts and stuff based on that, which is going to take you like 80% of the way to your scripts being written properly. You can finish them off, and they're also going to be videos about things that are going to be more likely to get views and be seen by people because we've already done all of the keyword research analysis and taken one with a good magic score. This whole software was developed by a fellow YouTuber just like you and I named Matt Parr, who runs 12 plus channels and been doing YouTube since he was like 14 or something ridiculous. And he also has Make Money Matt, which is a huge successful channel. Lots of huge YouTubers are actually using this tool, and it's allowing them to optimize their content to be seen by more people so that you can build up your channel and growth. You can try it out for completely free, and it's going to be linked in the top of the description. The fifth point that we're going to go over in this list is going to be essential for this, and they're really going to work hand in hand. So we'll get to that in a minute. Number 3 is going to be sticking to the script. Now, I generally write bullet points for my videos as I feel it's a nice way to have a better organic kind of free flow, and it's not this like robotic thing of reading off of a script and then reciting the line back and then memorizing it and reciting it. But the problem with this is that I do sometimes find myself rambling on a little bit. And I think if I write out my bullet points in a very specific way and I stick to that script, it's going to be a much better way of doing it. Bullet points for me, I feel, are the way I recommend doing it if it's something that works for you. Like, sure, yes, you can cut it all out in editing, but it's going to be hard for it to make the same amount of sense than if you had have just said it right from the beginning in a proper way, ensuring that everything that you're saying is an absolute little gold nugget of information that needs to be said to the viewer. When you start chopping it up when you're editing, it doesn't always come across in the exact same way or make enough sense, because you need to start saying different things and making cuts in parts of the video that might not really be the best part, losing some things, or just not getting the full scope of the value piece of information that you want to give. I feel like every single piece of information that you are offering or talking about, every single sentence should be an absolute little gold nugget of information that the viewer really needs to know. Increase the value of every single little sentence instead of bulking it up with this fluff, or even worse, repeating something or further explaining a topic that someone most likely already understands. Number 4 is going to be more yourself. Be real, be authentic, be true. Man, the internet is so full of shit these days, so full of noise and attention-grabbing content with flashy graphics and shouting at the camera and speaking really fast. And I really want to try and avoid all of that and really just come across as something authentic and true to myself. Honestly, all these flashy, crazy graphics and insane, like mind hostage audience retention techniques are exhausting. People are so desperately craving authenticity and the feeling of just hanging out with me instead of me attempting to mind kidnap you with the intent of sticking your eyes open, glued to the screen, not being able to look away for a split second, or you might miss everything. I think that's so done. If it ever was a thing, in my opinion, it's definitely not anymore. There's a reason that you see all these channels blowing up on your YouTube homepage that are like super real and raw and organic and unfiltered, of people just showing like real stuff. I think YouTube goes in cycles, the same way that like everything goes in cycles. And I think just like back in the day, in the like vlogging days where people used to make daily vlogs and show their life and the things that they're doing, I think that became the norm, and then everybody had to one up each other to grab more attention from the viewers, and it slowly progressed into this thing where it's just this like explosion of retention editing. And I think it's going the opposite way now, because that extreme high level of like getting your eyes open so that you can stick to the screen I think is over. And now it's going to go the other way, because what people are craving now is not that base level of like screaming at the camera, and it's more things of just real and like authentic, hanging out together and stuff. Number 5 is going to be to analyze what you're doing. And I think this is going to be the most important thing out of this entire list. Didn't know which camera to look at there. And that is because look at this video right now. Look at this list I made. After 10 years of creating content, I'm still doing a self-analysis to see how I can improve and where the things might be that I could change to make my content better. Don't ever think that you are too good or too far along to improve. Get that ego out of your way and realize that no matter how far along you are, there's always room for improvement in most aspects of your life. It's very rare to completely master something. So just like how I'm going through this list right now and doing a full self-analysis of my content subjectively and really trying to figure out how I can improve it, I would suggest that you do the same. As a new creator, this is even more important, and I would go as far as to say as invaluable. I would suggest doing a self-analysis of your channel and content and ask yourself, is your branding, the videos you are making, your overall channel image as good as it could be to put you in a position to be a leader within your field? Is the things that you're producing enough to stand up to be one of the top creators within the space that you're within? And if your answer is no, which it most likely is, it is for me. I'm in touch enough to realize that there's huge improvement for my content. I could make it much, much better. My content doesn't deserve to be a channel that has millions and millions of subscribers yet. But that's why I can adapt and change things to position myself to be in a place that I could see what I'm putting out into the world, having the potential to be at the top of its tier amongst the leaders of the creators within this space. And if your content doesn't scream that to you, go through it and make your own list and say why. Why isn't your content, your online brand image, your YouTube channel, your video presence or online persona, why isn't it like that? What could you do to each one of these different fields to improve it and get your channel to the point of being able to be in that position? Not to mention literally go through your YouTube channel analytics and stuff and analyze what is working and what isn't. Double down on what's performing better and ditch the majority of the rest of it. You can check so many different things on YouTube these days to give you all of the insights that you need to figure out what's working. If you are a new channel, put out 100 videos and use this as a database to get all of that information back so that you can curate the way that you're doing things to fit that work much better than just kind of making a whole bunch of different stuff. Low click-through rate, make better thumbnails and titles. Low views on your videos, write an angry letter to the YouTube video gods. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe reassess what your topics are and create content that appeals to a broader audience. Maybe you have low retention on your videos. Work on scripts and writing engaging, raw, authentic content that can hold the viewer's attention for a longer duration of time. If you're just starting out, your goal should be to create as much content as you possibly can to give you this huge data collection system. I guarantee you that there's going to be certain things working better than others. And then do that. Do more of that. A little bonus tip that I have is to ditch the long-winded, drawn-out outros, because let's be honest, nobody watches them once they've got all of the value from the content. They click off, giving your video a little bit of a worse audience retention overall. So I'll leave you with one more thing. If you want to properly analyze your channel and get the best results from posting videos, use Tube Magic to make sure that you are doing the things in the correct way by using all of the amazing tools that they have. Once you understand everything that we have spoken about in this video, then you are ready to finally hit record and start shooting your videos. So keep growing, keep pushing, keep self-analyzing, and I will see you in the next one. Have fun. Bye. What's up, guys?